Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ethiopian Community Development Council's celebration of World Refugee Day. I'm Doris McMillon, McMillon Communications, and today I'll be interviewing Teferra, Dr. Sahaye Teferra, who is the President and CEO of the Ethiopian Community Development Council. Dr. Teferra established the ECDC in 1983 in order to serve a growing Ethiopian refugee community and also to help other refugees and immigrants from diverse cultural backgrounds as they begin new lives in the United States. A lot has changed over these past months because of COVID-19 pandemic, and I'd like to talk to you, Dr. Teferra, about where things stand today. So what is the plight of refugees that you serve today?
Well, thank you for having me. As you know, the current situation has exacerbated the situation that was already bad enough before. In the past few years, the United States used to admit over 80,000 refugees annually. In the last 2 years, that number has been reduced to about 22,000, 30,000. Then what has happened is during the last few months, because of the virus, the resettlement of refugees here has tremendously been slowed down. Now, the issue that I want everybody to know is the refugee situation worldwide has not changed. In fact, it has increased significantly. We have a number of refugees waiting for resettlement in Africa, in the Middle East, in Southeast Asia, and elsewhere. For example, if we take the refugee situation in Africa, we have thousands of refugees from Eritrea, South Sudan, Somalia, being hosted in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is, as you know, a very poor country, but has been very generous in terms of hosting refugees from its neighbors. We have Congolese refugees. We have Burundian refugees in Central Africa. We have Syrian refugees. We have a number of African refugees also in Yemen. I can understand, because of the pandemic, it has been very difficult to process and bring people here. But I think, we have really an obligation, moral obligation, to extend our hands to all the refugees that are outside the United States, especially in the developing countries, as I said, like in Ethiopia, in Kenya, and so on, that need the support of the developed world.
Okay. Dr. Teferra, now we know that there were challenges before COVID-19. What were some of those other challenges that the refugees had to deal with, and what is your organization doing to kind of help them through that?
See, when a refugee comes, our obligation here is to help them find housing, employment, and so on. So with the problem that we have now, since many refugees are new, and it is very difficult, to have them find employment. So that is one. The assistance that they get from social services and so on is very minimal. So finding employment in a situation where it is already bad enough is very difficult. Many people, people who have been here for a long time, who have been employed, can qualify for unemployment benefits. Unfortunately, most of our newcomers either have been laid off and therefore don't have enough credit to qualify for unemployment. These are the people that are vulnerable. And we have to respond, to the plight and the need of these people. Some of them are people with families. And so that's one, the lack of employment and the lack of, meaningful benefits to sustain their lives.
Okay, now, what about your refugees who have been waiting to come to the States? What's happening with them? How are they able to make it? What is life like for them outside of the U.S. while they wait to come here?
It is very bad because, again, in the refugee camps or in the host countries where they are staying, they are being supported by UNHCR, but that's very, very minimal. They don't have any roots there. They are still hoping and waiting to be reunited with their families in the United States. So until, the situation is stabilized here, then, they need really support while they are overseas.
Tell me something. You mentioned earlier that the number of refugees being allowed into the country has dropped. Why is that?
Well, I think it's a matter of policy. The U.S. government has, the current administration has decided basically to decrease the number of refugees that are being admitted. As I told you, prior to this administration, the number we had was about 80,000 refugees. During the last years, it dropped to 45,000, again to 30,000. So that's where we are now. Now, on top of that, then, this pandemic came, and as a result, all travels have been basically stopped. I can understand, but the hope is that once the situation has improved, we hope that the government would lift its travel ban and start helping refugees to rejoin their families here.
You've been very successful in the time since you started your nonprofit to raise monies to help serve this refugee community. Where do things stand now financially, and what can people do to help?
I think I want to take this opportunity to thank, the many people who have seriously taken the situation and who have responded to the plight of refugees in the various cities that we have resettled refugees. I think the American people have been very, very generous, and we all are very grateful for their support, and we hope they will continue their support. We hope, they will welcome refugees in their cities and communities. They can also help by donating financially and also availing themselves to be friends, mentors to refugees. So critically now, we need, a financial support to assist most of the vulnerable refugees that we have here. You have to understand also some of the refugees that are settled here, because they have, members of their respective families back in the refugee camps. From the little that they get, they always send money to support their families. With the lack of employment here, when they are not employed, they cannot do that anymore. And we need to support those who are here so that not only will they support themselves, but also they will extend their hands to the refugees who are still in the host countries elsewhere.
Now, one of the things that I find impressive, certainly you are supporting the Ethiopian community, but you have also allowed your support to go not just to the Ethiopian community, refugee community, but to other cultures. Why did you decide that was important to be inclusive like that?
Well, I think it's a very important question. Initially, as you alluded earlier, we started to work with the Ethiopian community in the early 80s, because at the time, most of the refugees that were coming were out of Ethiopia as a result of the brutal regime that was ruling Ethiopia. then, we found out that the needs of other refugees are also similar to the needs of the Ethiopian community at the time. We decided to expand our services to be more global, more multinational, and so on. Ironically, today, of course, the name remains Ethiopian Community Development Council, but the clientele and the refugees that we serve are from multinationals. That includes a number of Afghani refugees, Syrians, the Latin Americans, and from Africa, we have refugees from about 18 countries. So wherever there is crisis, in the early 80s, by the way, we also resettled refugees from, early 90s, we resettled refugees from Bosnia as a result of the upheaval, the civil war, and so on in the former Yugoslavia. So today, most of our refugees are non-Ethiopians, even though we still serve Ethiopians. We have a large number of Eritreans, we have a large number of Afghanis and Congolese, and so on. So we are proud to have really expanded our services to be more inclusive, more multilingual, multicultural.
Now, it's my understanding also that you have offices in Denver, Colorado, in Las Vegas, Nevada, Silver Spring, Maryland, and in Arlington, Virginia. Are you hoping to expand beyond these offices?
Well, we have, our model is this. In those cities that you mentioned, these are our direct branch offices under the same corporate name, under the same corporation. But we have also other affiliates in a number of other states. In California, we have San Diego, Houston, in North Carolina, in Boston, in Florida, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, and so on. So with the current situation, meaning the number of refugees being what it is, we don't have any plan at the moment to expand. Our goal is going to be to sustain this and build the capacity so that they would serve more refugees and immigrants in their respective communities.
Dr. Teferra, as we wrap up our interview, we have people from all over the country watching this interview right now. What appeal would you make to them as we come to a close?
Well, again, thank you. First, I want to thank every American and other nationalities for having supported and welcomed refugees in their communities. I also want to thank all the host countries in Africa and elsewhere who have taken refugees and support them. Here in the United States, I want really to appeal to all goodwill people to continue their support of refugees and so on. I want really people to help us by donating funds to help refugees be productive members of our respective communities.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Teferra. And to those of you, again, if you would like to give to continue this very important work, we would ask you to please visit the website, ecdcus.eventcreate.com. We encourage you to go there to give. If you have any other questions, please be sure to reach out to ECDC. Again, Dr. Teferra, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this very important work that you're doing. And we, of course, wish you all the best for the next few days for this event. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.